There's definitely something you want to do first in Raid Shadow Legends. It's the most important by far. It's one of the most common questions I get when it comes to Darth Microtransaction. I'm a new player. I'm a little bit stuck. What is it I should do first? What is it I should focus on? And today we're going to try to break down that mystery of the very first thing that you need to focus on and how to really go through the steps to do that. Easily the most critical thing to do is work on your campaign farmer. That is it by far. Okay, Queen Eva is my campaign farmer. I'm going to show you an example, and I'm going to explain what campaign farming is. I'm going to explain the best way to do it. I'm going to give you all the information you need to be successful at it, okay? You do not have to have Queen Eva. It can be any character that can complete this role, and there's a number of them out there. Fellhound, Bellower, even Kel is a starting character. I've seen Gaelic do it. I mean, you don't have to have top-tier characters in order to clear 12-3 Bruto or even 12-6 Bruto, depending on what you really choose to farm. And the reason for that is if you use lifesteal, you can clear through it, but it might not be the quickest. Okay, so we're going to break down the different methods for that. If we go to champions here, and we show you there's two ways to do it. One of which is you're going to get a character, you're going to max them out. And by max them out, I mean, we're talking 6-star, okay? All the way, ascended them, get their skills. If it's like a rare or something you're using to farm, and that's doable. You want to max out your campaign farmer to make it as easiest on you as possible. Plus, keep in mind, you have to have 6-star in order to have the last masteries. As you're going to see here, this Queen Eva doesn't have all her masteries. I don't need it for her to be a farmer. She's strong enough without it. But if you're using like Kel or somebody like a starter or Fellhound, Bellower, other types of people, you're going to want their masteries in order to help you accomplish this. And for that reason, using scrolls, the 800 gems on your very first character, meaning like Kel once again, is not really a bad decision. On my free-to-play account, I put 800, my first free-to-play 800 gems that I farmed up and saved, I put on my Santa Claus, who I got lucky and Poe, admittedly, to do his masteries, and it saved the whole Minotaur grind right in the beginning. I would do the same thing with Kel if I only had Kel and I didn't post Santa Claus on that account, because I do believe the first 800 gems, it's way efficient to just use the 800 gems on the masteries in the beginning. It will skip you a huge part of the Minotaur grind and then make your character way stronger with lifesteal, so you can do the Minotaur later by proccing things like War Master and stealing health off that. Okay, but that's a different topic. What we're doing is we're talking about masteries here. And there's two ways to do it. If you have a Kel and you're running like lifesteal, you want to run like a War Master, or a way to pair it with the lifesteal so that he's continually lifestealing through the waves and staying alive, okay? When War Master procs, you lifesteal off that damage too. So for that reason, War Master helps. You can also run critical damage and the masteries like these ones, which inflict damage by 8% of the first hit, etc. If you have high enough damage stats, you can try one-shotting the waves with AoE. So this is why people like Bellower or Fellhound, who have basic attacks or moves that only hit in AoE form, and they prioritize those, people use critical damage if it's a large hitting AoE move, as it will, it's the better way. They nuke through the waves, and you don't need the lifesteal healing, so you're not needing the War Master procs in order to stay alive in other areas of the game, like Minotaur, for example. So you can really go two ways depending on what character you're using to farm. But the first thing you need to do absolutely is grab your starter or whoever your best character is that can farm. Bellower, Fellhound, Source is an uncommon even. If we look here in the index, I believe it's a Lizardman, this guy, right? Even this guy can farm. If you look, he's got an AoE on basic attack. So you don't have to have good characters, okay? I believe this guy's a 6-second farmer. I think it was Stu or somebody out there did a video showing this guy was a 6-second farmer, okay? You absolutely do not have to have busted characters. You just need to get their stats as high as necessary in the one shot. And the stats are going to vary depending on what character you use. Like when I was using my Eva, my stats are, here you can see the total stats, 41 under attack, 216 critical damage, but that's not what it's going to be for like your Kel, for example. Few things about farming the campaign. One is you can farm 12-3 Bruto if you want more silver, as the shields sell for more, but 12-6 Bruto is actually more experience. It just kind of depends on which farmer you're using, because some farmers can farm this efficiently and some farmers cannot. So it kind of depends on what character you're using. But you can technically farm either 12-6 Bruto for a little bit more experience or 12-3 for a little bit more silver. I like to default for 12-3 3 because on the end of every run, I typically just sell the shield. I'm always scrapped for cash, as most people in this game. I'm doing gear all the time, etc. And for that reason, I like the silver. Plus, if you're watching this video, you're probably a newer player and you're strapped for cash as well. In the long term, going the extra silver will probably help you. That also keeps or reminds me of one other thing, which people ask me about nightmares, Nightmare Bear, the farm. If you look at exactly how hard 12-3 Nightmare is, here's the same team, right? And if you look, it's not even close. I would need multiple characters in order to be able to farm this. I can't beat this with a single character, and even if I could, it wouldn't be fast enough for my time and effort to be worth it for the payout. I do believe it's technically more efficient if you can have one person farm it. However, for our sanity, we tend to not farm this quite yet in the game. Plus, if you keep in mind that 12-3 Bruto is less energy, if you look here, it's 8 energies compared to Nightmare is 16, meaning we get 2 shields to 1 shield, so we can sell it for more silver once again. Also, if you're newer and you're trying to farm like a whole bunch overnight or something with the BlueStacks link that I was listing, some people don't know this, but you can buy energy, okay? I say this as a loving joke to my friend Brad, because Chillfly Mobile didn't know you could actually hit the plus and straight up just buy energy here for a while. So if you're trying to auto-click overnight and do something like, you know, right in the beginning, you're new and you're just doing like Dragon 10 or something overnight with the energy you have available and you want to buy a few refreshes, you can actually just buy the energy. I mean, I know it's a stupid, simple tip, but just in case some people didn't know that you can fill up on energy as much as you want, you know, you can just keep going with this and get 2,000 energy or whatever you want and then, you know, auto-click overnight. Also, the multi-battle, you get 15 if you don't have the pass, and you get 40 if you do have the pass, okay? So if you're thinking about using the raid multi-battle pass where you get like a little bit of silver, a little bit more experience, you get 25 more multi-battles for it. I kind of hope they're going to bump this up soon, as I do believe the multi-battles, the 40 multi-battles, is just purely not worth it for the money. I purely have the pass, and by the pass, if you don't know what I'm talking about here, when you look right here, you see you get 20% experience from campaign battles, 20% silver, and plus 25 extra multi-battles. And this is, you just buy it. It's like a subscription thing you can get. It's like $10 a month. It's not worth it for the multi-battles. You can just do it through BlueStacks or something, but it is worth it for the experience and silver, mainly for the silver from campaign battles, because farming 12-3 Bruto, when you're farming these shields over and over again, for the most part, can end up being your primary source of silver income until you get to the point of like farming Spider 20, because Spider 20 tends to be the best energy per silver payout once you get to that point. But until you get to that point, you're going to be farming, you know, an absolute ton of this guy here. You're going to be doing 12-3 Bruto over and over and over again. I'm sure I've probably farmed this thing 10,000 times or more by now. I mean, you do it a lot. And you're going to want to build that starter farmer, guys. If you don't build that farmer right from the beginning, every single time you do this, you're costing yourself more and more time. So in my personal opinion, the very first thing you want to do, and the most important thing you want to do in this game, is get that starter built. It was the first thing I did on my free-to-play account. It was the first thing I did on this account. And it will, if I ever make another account for whatever reason, it will continue to be the first thing and will be the advice I hand out to people. So, and then if you're wondering, just real quick here at the end, cover a couple things here. If you're wondering where to go once you have your first 6-star, because the next thing is, oh, okay, I can farm the campaign, I have my first 6-star. What do I do now? I'm having trouble progressing the dungeons, etc. Well, now you can farm 12-3 Bruto. You can make those 6 stars a lot quicker. You got to go farm like 2 more 6 stars. Get those maxed out. Your best characters you have available, get them maxed and as far up as you can get them. Now, keep in mind, if it's like a war priest or a character that may not be like your top tier, but you just need somebody, you can take them to 50 and later on use them as a chicken for a better character when you pull it. But right in the beginning, you've got to max out your farmer. It's absolutely mandatory. And then after you max out your farmer, you begin working on, you know, the next better people you pull. But like, if you don't get that farmer in the beginning, everything you do in this game is going to be slowed down, so I recommend getting it. Okay, guys, if you enjoyed the time and effort I put in this video, please reward me by subscribing. You can like if you want. I really don't give a about any of that, but I do care about your subscriptions. I'm trying desperately to subscribe to Darth Microtransaction.